Hey folks, got the old hat on. Welcome everybody, welcome back. Oh man, I'm tired. So we were up last night talking game dev. Hey Droopy. We were up last night talking game dev, partying. Yeah, I know. I told some people today at work, I was up late last night, I'm tired. And they're like, what were you doing? I said, well, we talked about math for 4 hours. They said, boy, you really know how to party. We didn't only talk about math, but we did talk about math for a while. All right. Let me show you what I've been up to. So, one of the things that I changed or added recently was, and I think I showed this last time, but I added some, I've been working on it a little bit. So I added this dust that gets kicked up when you use your thrusters. Look at that. So that small, like little particles of dust was always there, but I added this bigger cloud. I think that looks pretty cool. D&D. Yeah. What's your armor class? And I don't even know if they do armor classes anymore, but you got to roll 18 and you have -3 and arguing about rules, right? It's part of the fun. So there's that. I thought that turned out pretty nice and it looks effective enough. One thing I'm not sure about is like it's almost instant how quickly it hits the wall, but I think that's a small minor detail. It's fine. I'm just gonna ignore that. I think it looks cool. So I did that. Another thing I did was on gravity wells, it wasn't sometimes clear whether it was like what direction they were going, right? Whether it was pulling things in or pushing things away. So what I did was I basically made it more, just basically made it more, added more particles, made them go a little faster, so that you can really see it, you know. It was just a little bit too subtle before. So now it should be pretty obvious that this one's pushing, I hope. What else did I do? Oh, the other thing I did was when you watch, so I'll respawn here in a second. What you'll see is a little indicator next to the ship that shows which way gravity is going and how strong it is. So right when you spawn it right here, gravity down, and it goes away. So it's kind of just a little visual indicator to let people know something, you know, a reason for why you're starting to fall. Hopefully that will, you know, help people get oriented, I guess. So today, one thing that happens, well, let me show you this. So this is the game over screen. Do. Right? And it gives you a grade, right? But one thing that, you know, through testing the levels and stuff is it turned out, depending on how, I think the grading needs some balancing, some rebalancing, right? Some of these things affect it too much and some of them don't affect it enough. So I'm gonna try and figure that out. I think there are a couple problems. One is just the way things are weighted. So like if you go into the algorithm here, Here it is. So it's calculating your rank. If you're out of fuel, it gives you an F. Is that right? If you're out of fuel, it gives you an F? I think that actually means you ran out of fuel and you died. You exploded. Okay, so that's fine. If you ran out of fuel and you exploded, you couldn't finish the level, you get an F. If there are reactors, I used to call them generators, and I just never renamed them in the code, but these are the reactor cores. If there are reactor cores in the level, and the total number of reactor cores is greater than 0, and the number you've stolen, the number you've taken off with, escaped the level with, is less than the total, then you get an F. You have to get them all out. Then it goes into fuel, and it calculates basically your, it figures out what percentage of the fuel you collected versus how much was in the level. And then it does the same thing with people, and then it does the same thing with enemies that you can kill, and it does the same thing with generators, although this one doesn't really apply anymore. So this is what I'm talking about, that it needs to get updated. I don't think this one really applies anymore because we have this. This just automatically gives you an F, and this says generator stolen plus destroyed divided by total. And then it calculates this percentage, right? And then it takes the average of all those percentages. So if you got an A here and a B here and an A here and a C here, it would give you like a B minus or something, right? Right, and these are just like letter grades that you're used to from high school, right? If you get above 80%, or if you get, what is this? If divisor is 0. So if there wasn't anything, if none of these things were found in the level, then you just get an A. If you got less than 80%, you get a C. If you get less than 90%, you get a B. And if you get anything else, it's an A. And then there are some, failure conditions. If you were destroyed, if you didn't get all the generators, you get an F. And then if you got all the coins and you did it in one attempt and you got all the reactor cores, then you get an S. So I think part of the problem is that some of these things are all weighted the same, but I think some of them are more important than other things. Like, yeah, you want to kill all the enemies, but what if there's only one person in the level? That means you either get all the people and you get an A, or you get none of the people and you get an F on this. And that F on the people, even though there's only one of them, can really drag your whole score down. Or, if there's only one of them, you get an A and it can really boost your score up, even though there's only one. And to get an A on enemies, you might have to kill 50 of them. Hey, Bleeding Plaid, following me. Thank you. Thank you and welcome. I'm glad you like the hat. Yeah, I was looking at different hats on Amazon, and it's funny when you search Amazon for captain's hats like this, you see a bunch of different ones, and then there's the one Amazon recommends, right? It's the cheap one, and it comes up at the top of the search or whatever. I see that hat on TV and other people wearing it all the time. It's like everybody went and just bought the first one, right? And I've literally seen it like on television shows, and I'm like, oh, I knew where they got that hat. I've seen it on Amazon. This one, you had to go down a little bit on the search, right? It was like the fifth or sixth one, and it's a little more expensive. It's kind of pricier. I think it's worth it. I think I wear it well. So time to search Captain Hat on Amazon. Maybe I'll have a Captain Hat party. Oh, maybe that can be fun. I can buy all early adopters a Captain's Hat. Free Captain's Hat with every purchase. Captain's Hat DLC. So I don't think I need this. Because if you don't get them all, you're going to get an F. And if you do get them all, you're going to get an A. Hey! Welcome, everybody. 19 people. Holy smokes. Hey, guys. Oh, did you see that? I forgot about that. Hey, everybody. Wow, so many people. I'm overwhelmed right now. All right, let me show you something cool. I don't know if it's cool. It may be stupid. But I added this this to the editor, okay? Look at that. So now when I'm working, you can really tell that I'm working because the screen shake. And then watch for the delete. I like them apples. You know what? It makes it more fun. When you add ridiculous amount of juice to everything, it's just more fun. I spent way too much time on that. Yeah, I know. I claimed, so the other night I claimed a max, or maybe it was last week. Recently, I claimed a max. I'm a minimalist. At heart. In my heart, I'm a minimalist. But game development has turned me into a juice junkie. I don't know what it is. You know, it's the little things that keep you happy, right? And I don't know. You get burned out, you get bored, you got to do something fun to keep things interesting, right? And this is what I spent some time on the other day. It's an add-on, and I call it the Ridiculous Coding add-on. And let's see. It's cool. Like the whole editor in Godot was built with Godot. So, you know, there's little signals for when the cursor changes position. There's signals for when the text changes. You can track when a keyboard event happens. You can get the scan code with modifiers of the key code. That's what gives me, this is what gives me that Control X there. Lets me know what key got pressed. And then you can do, you know, you do your screen shake. I've got a process in here that does, it takes the editor control and just shakes its position around. This function here does the magic of detecting what line and column I'm at, so it knows where to put the effects. And then I just spawn these little scenes. I've got an explosion scene, I've got a new character typed scene, and after it does all this calculation of where the cursor is, it just draws the thing there. Either the delete explosion, or it draws the typing thing, or it does the new line thing with the little arrow when I do a new line right there. I spent a lot of time on it. I think I did this maybe Saturday? I can't remember. It was over the weekend just for fun. Just for kicks. Anyway, so now you guys get to enjoy the ridiculous coding add-on while I figure this stuff out. So, I hope it's not too loud. So I deleted something here. Yeah, this. Right? I don't need this because I give you an F if you don't get all the reactors and it just short circuits and returns. So you either get all the reactors or you don't. No point in grading that. Then I think this one's fine. I actually think all of these are fine. It's just I think they need some kind of weight. I don't know. This might be tougher than I expected. Maybe I'm going about it all wrong. Maybe I should do something more like, if you do certain things, you get a deduction. Kind of like how they do Olympics, right? Like diving competitions or something, right? You start at a 10, and then you deduct points if you miss certain things. I don't know. Another F. I got all the fuel. Oh, but I didn't get the reactor in this case, in this scenario. Let me change that. So I've got a test branch here. If I'm just running this as a standalone scene, then it won't have any stats. The game keeps track of stats, but if you're just running this as a standalone scene, the size of the stats will be 0. There won't be anything in it. So it just does, creates some stats out of nothing. And let's make these numbers more realistic. Let's say there's 30 of those. Let's say there's 5 people. Let's say there's 7 enemies in the level. Fired 100 shots, and you collected all the fuel. There was 1 reactor, and let's say that you stole 1 generator and there was 1 total, right? So let's see what happens. Those numbers are all wrong. Got an A that time. Oh, because it's calculating. Yeah. Where is it actually calculating? Wow. I don't know if I can... Oh, no. Fuel remaining percent is 108.78. Where'd I get that number? Honestly, where is it calculating the... Oh, it's right there. So if I did stats people equals 5, stats enemies, oh, should be people rescued, enemies destroyed, pickups collected. Yeah, so people rescued Enemies destroyed. See, but I still got an A. Let me change that. Pickups collected. What one is it? Oops. All right, I should get an A, right? That makes sense. But if I didn't get all the people, let's say I went, let's take that, that. Let's say I only got 2 of the 5 people. Then I get a C. I need to speed that up, by the way, so I can test this better. Fair debug is false. Debug equals true. Oh, I love that. I like typing like that. And then... I can say... I can say if debug... See if that does it. Nope, it only did it the once. Only did it the once. That's what I want. That one a little faster. So I got a C. So you can see how, like, the number of people that you rescue has a big impact, right? Time I got a B, but I got twice as many people. You have to get all of them, right, to get the A. And then here, if I only got 5 of the 7 enemies, see, I still got an A. But if I only get 4 of the people, I get a B. So people are more important only because there's less of them, right? I think maybe I need to change the way this is working and say, if you missed any of the people, it's a deduction of 1 letter grade, maybe from an A to a B. And if you miss any of the enemies, it's another deduction of a letter grade from a B to a C, right? And if you didn't collect all the fuel, it would be a deduction of a letter grade down to a C. Or if you didn't collect most of the fuel, like if you only got 75% of the fuel, you would get a deduction. What do you guys think? You could declare an absolute value for each thing, and at the end, calculate how many points out of the total possible points you got. Are you thinking like that each person has some point value? And depending on your actual possible score on the level, that would determine your rank? Maybe. I suppose I could do that. I think it would be possible to calculate how many points would be possible to have achieved. Actually, it might not be possible to calculate how many points would be possible to achieve because it's possible to get some bonuses. It's possible to get some bonuses, and some of the bonuses depend on your timing. And like if you shoot 2 enemies very quickly, you would get a bonus, right? But the amount of the bonus depends on which order you shoot them in. Because you'll get the bonus on the second one, and that one might have a higher base value of points. And so if you shot them in the other order, you would get less of a bonus, right? There's an optimum bonus shooting amount, right? Shooting order. But more complicated than that is that I don't know if it's even possible to get the bonus on some levels because I don't know if the enemies are close enough to each other. I don't know if it's physically possible in some cases to actually do it. And even if I couldn't do it, it's not out of the question that somebody else could do it if they were just a little quicker than me. And I don't know if there's a way to tell if it's even possible to get that bonus. So the risk there would be that I would end up calculating some total that's impossible to achieve, and therefore nobody would get an A. That seems more complex than I would like. Right. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, right? If you did it like that GoldenEye where you were assigning minimum scores for each letter, then you need to be able to play it and be able to assign good values for those. But it depends on how good you are. And I don't know if Peter and I are any good at this game. It's possible we'll find new players who blow us out of the water and achieve something that we didn't know was possible, right? So I'm hesitant to go with that approach. Yeah, they're kill streaks. I think I might go with the idea of just doing a deduction. If you don't get all the people, you're going to lose a letter grade. Like we'll start you at an A. If you get everything, you can keep your A. And then on top of that, if you get all of the bonus things, the coins collected and you escaped with the reactor core, you get an S. If you didn't get all of the things, you're going to go down to a B. Like if you didn't get all the people, you're going to go down to a B. And if you didn't get all the people and you didn't get all the enemies, you're going to go down to a C. So if you missed anything, there's a penalty. But the lowest you can go would be a C, right? Unless you completely failed the level. I don't know. I kind of like that because it's simpler. I'm going to just do that, and then we'll play test it and see how it works. I think what I need to do too is before I do this play test. Oh, interesting. Hitman. Okay. So I'm onto something. It's not without precedent. Yeah, I knew when I was doing this, I wasn't sure if it was a good thing. So here I'll say if, we'll say, let's get rid of these. We'll say deduction equals 0, right? If you have, let's save that one for last, because I think the fuel is a more complicated one. If there are people, and if the people you rescued is less than the total people, yeah, totally. I mean, one of the reasons I have this ranking system is because I want to encourage people to play the same level again, right? If they get a B, I want them to play it again. People are going to want to try and get an A. And then when they find out that there's a super secret S rank, they're going to want to try to play it again to get the S, right? That's the idea. And I've seen that happen in the playtests that I've done. People will finish and they'll go, oh, I got a B. And some of them are like, I'll try it again. And others are like, you know what? B's good enough. I'm happy with a B. And they move on with their life, right? So this one, I'll say deduction. Right? It's actually nice. I like how simple that is. And then this is the same thing. If enemies destroyed is less than the total enemies, right? And if fuel collected is less than total fuel, I think it's fuel collected. Yeah. Is less than 75% of the total fuel. So if you don't collect at least 75% of the fuel, you get another deduction. There's no more divisors. And then we say if deduction is 0, you get an A. If deduction is 1, you get a B. If, and otherwise you get a C. Hey, Eva. Yeah, that's Godot. Check this out. Hi, welcome to my world. My juicy, screen shaky world. Yeah, I wrote a whole plugin for the editor just to do that. And then watch when you delete. I'm glad you like it. I'm going to change this to deductions just because my grammar wants me to make it a plural. If deductions is 0, you get an A. If deductions is 1, you get a B. And if it's more than that, you get a C. If you got all the pickups, if deductions is 0, which means you got an A, and you got all the pickups, and you did it in one attempt, and you got all the reactors, you get an S. I wish. That'd be cool. If I could make, if I could actually explode my computer. I could have a launch on Steam button, and when I push it, it uploads the build to Steam, and then my computer ignites into flames. Collected. Right, so I got a C because I got 1, 2 deductions, right? And if I don't get, well, if I do get all the enemies, now I should get a B. Right? And then if I get all the people too, I should get a A. And if I even don't get all the fuel, if I get 800 of the fuel, if I get 800 of the fuel, that's 80% of the fuel, I should still get an A. But if I only get 60% of the fuel, I should get a B. Yeah, I like that. That works. I think that works. And then if I do get all the A's, then sometimes I should get an S. Why didn't I get an S? Got all the pickups. Got that. Oh, because I made 28 attempts. Let's change. That attempts to 1. There it is. Right? But if I don't get the generators, I'm going to get an F. The reactors. Yeah. So you can get an A, you can get a B, you can get a C, you can get an F. That feels more fair to me. It feels more fair, and I think it... I think hopefully they'll have a better distribution. Instead of just, you know, clustering around A's and F's, I think we'll get more B's and C's. And by making it pretty easy to get a deduction, I'm thinking there'll be more C's, fewer B's, and even fewer A's, which is the way you want it, right? I'm not trying to make a bell curve. I want an A to mean something. Right? I want it to be an achievement of some kind, so it has to be a little harder to get. So if you make one mistake, you're not going to get an A. If you make 2 mistakes, you're not going to get a B. If you get everything perfect, but you don't pick up every little thing, you're going to get an A. You're not going to get an S. You have to get every little thing perfect to get an S. And do it in one try, one attempt. Or you have to start over. And people will go, you know what? S's are overrated. I don't want an S. I've seen that happen in the playtesting, right? People are like, oh, I got a C. I can do better than a C. And they'll play it, and they'll get an A. And I say, oh, you know, there's an S. And they go, you know what? I'm fine with an A. If you're spotted, you lose the chance for the best rank, right? Yeah, so that's exactly what I'm doing. It's like a deduction. You start from perfect, and then you get deductions. Yeah. Okay. And this makes the math easier as well. I mean, this whole method just got a lot simpler. I don't have to worry about division by 0 anymore, for one. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. I guess this might be a spoiler. But it's fine. I'm not trying to keep this information secret. Tell everybody. Tell everybody how to get an S rank. It's fine. So progress, play. Oops. Playback speed. So that only happens in debug mode. Right? And that only happens in debug mode. Yeah, and debug mode only happens if you're running this as a standalone scene, just so I can test it. So that should be good. Let's make a commit. I'll show you guys my my source control. Yeah, I play a little guitar. This is my song list. Here we go. Here we go. So I added this debug variable, set it to true. I like to just double check before I make a commit, sort of just to prove that the code is correct before I actually commit it. I hate committing code to the repo that doesn't work, you know, or is incorrect in some way. So I just double check it before I do it. And, you know, sometimes I find mistakes, or sometimes I'll have a bunch of different files here and I only want to commit some of them, and I'll do them in different batches so that I can break up the changes. So, you know, this commit was this change and this commit was this change, and they're not all mixed together. So this is all just debug stuff. That's fine. And then this is debug stuff to just increase the playback speed. Yep, that's fine. And then this is all the changes to the calculate rank function, just to make it simpler. It took out all this math, right? So this is doing like weighted averages, and now it's doing a deduction system. Yeah, which looks better to me. Okay. Change ranking from weighted averages to deduction system. Push that up to GitHub. How often do you find yourself reverting? I mean, never, really. Like officially, like GitHub revert, never. If I find I made a mistake, I just roll over it with another commit. My usage of Git is pretty simple. I barely use any branches, right? I mean, I'm a solo developer here on this, so there's one branch. I think once I release, what I'll probably do is create a dev branch, and master will be release. But I might not even do that. I might just tag the release, right? And I've done that down here. That's how I've been doing it. If I can find any. Or maybe this isn't showing the tags. Can you search a tag? Yeah, I don't know how you can search a tag in here, but so, you know, I'm thinking I would just tag the release and then continue development. But that's a little hard to get your build system to work with, because you want to tell it build this tag instead of build this branch. And right now it's just building master. Yeah, I think, I don't know. I'll decide later, but I think at some point I'm going to have a version in production, right, that people are playing, and I want to be able to revert to that if somebody reports a bug, so I can test it, right? But at the same time, I'll need a branch for new development, new features that are going in. And then I'll merge it back to master when I make another build for the public. And I might get as complicated as having a branch for each version, so that I could, if you did that, you could have your master, right? And then you'd have a branch every time you created a new version 1 on Steam, right? And then you'd have another branch for dev, for new features. And that way you could say, I need to make a patch for version 1. I'll call it version 1.1 on the version 1 branch, in case I need to make a hotfix or something to fix a bug. because this dev update isn't done yet. I don't know. I haven't decided how I'm going to do it yet. But that'll be another win for source control, right? Because you can have all these different branches of development and not have to do any folder copying. You don't have to keep a backup over here of this folder. Yeah, there might be a beta testing branch. So again, if you're not using source control, there's really just no reason not to. So many benefits. It's easy to use. This is Visual Studio Code. It comes with a pretty nice Git client built in. And then you can go back too, and you can say, look at this. Or you can open a file like game over, right? And you can say somewhere in here, you can say, show me the history of this file, I think. Anyway, there's lots of neat stuff you can do. There it is, file history, right? So this is just this one file, the game over screen, right? All the changes that involve the game over screen are right here. And then you can click those and you can actually see what changed in that version. I don't know, Vim, if you can do because construct is all in the cloud, right? Are there even files that you could check into source control? I don't know how you do that with construct. In case you guys don't know, we have some celebrities here. Vimlark probably you all already know, but he's making or was making a game called Monkeys with Guns, and now he just does game jams and drinks water. You should definitely check out his channel. And Spherus makes Unity assets and does some really cool stuff with shaders, and she's doing some really cool stuff with the Unity, what's it called, dots system, and she's doing a lot of really cool experiments. You should go check out her channel. And of course, Max building Flock of Dogs. Definitely go check that out. Max's Flock of Dogs game is really coming along. I can't wait for it to be out in the world so that everybody can play it. All right, so I think letter grading done. Let me just show you guys how some of the stuff. I showed a little bit of this before I got raided by all you beautiful people. So let me show you some of the gameplay here. We'll play one of Peter's levels. Oh, let's do this. Let's unlock everything, first of all. And then we'll play some levels. Let's do this level. Good old level 4. You're low on fuel. So one of the things I added with this was this gravity indicator. So as soon as you spawn into the level, it tells you there's gravity, there's a strength to it, it's going this direction. Right? It kind of explains why you're falling, right? And then another thing I added was this cool enhanced visual for the dust, which just feels pretty cool. I like the way it feels. Let me get that gas before I die here. And I don't think there's a gravity well on this level. Oh, poor guy. Look at him. He's all dead. Oh yeah. Lots of little Easter eggs, right? You didn't notice the wings before, but they've been moving for a while. It's a game that rewards repeat play. Tell your friends. Why does that not open? There we go. Peter was describing this to a friend of his while he was playing. Peter's my level maker. And he was describing to a friend as Lunar Lander, like Bullet Hell Lunar Lander. That's not a bad description for it. There's no landing, but you get the idea. Get that. Anything else? Ooh, I wonder if I'll get an S. Oh, let's see if the captain gets an S. Oh, that feels so good. Yeah, Pixel Junk Shooter was a great game. I love that game. Very fun. The astronauts, then you rescue them, you know? I basically lifted that directly from Pixel Junk Shooter. Those guys are great. My game doesn't have the fluid simulation, you know, the water and the lava stuff. And their game doesn't have the reactor cores and the strong gravity, so. Inspired by. What do they say? I don't know who said it. Maybe it was, I can't remember who said it. Great artists steal, right? The new title screen. This is all animation. There's a little bit of particle system going on in here, but all the rest of this is animation. This little flash is animation. This is two different sprites. There's no lights. There's no light at all in this game. It's all just sprites and faked blend modes and stuff. That's fairly new. What else? Oh, I fixed this. You guys remember I was struggling with this windowed full screen toggle? Oh, it was so stupid. Turns out I was just, oh, Steve Jobs, of course. I had two code paths that did this, and I was just looking at the wrong one. So that's why the code that I expected to run wasn't running. And when anyway, when I realized that, I fixed it. It was easy. I struggled with that for an hour, maybe half an hour. It was annoying. And I did some changes in. Let me show you one thing here. So if you have these rotating laser beams, right, like this guy, bam, you can put a button. Where's my buttons? Sorry, my phone is in front of my screen, so it's hard for me to see. Where the heck's my buttons? You put a button, and then you can wire up the button to the laser beams and have it toggle the direction that it's rotating in. So then when you play it, you can be all like, oh no, I'm about to be hit by the laser beam. Psych. Right? So that was pretty cool. Oh, dead. And I think I remember there was a complaint from people, maybe, well, not a complaint so much, but an observation from some dedicated fans who noticed that you could, let me make this a little, there we go. From some dedicated fans who noticed that if you had a laser beam like this, and then you had a reactor core, the reactor core could actually Oops. The reactor core could actually sit on top of the beam. Anyway, I took care of that. Beams kill now. The shield, and then the core. Before, you know, you just have a reactor core just sitting in here rolling around, and it just doesn't look right. I do not have destructible walls. I did have a bug at one time where I had the code. I had the code that does this, you know, this editing. For some reason, I had an error where I made it where every time you shot a wall, it would actually do that. So I did have destructible walls for a minute. And I was like, what the heck is going on? And then I realized I'd like pasted the wrong code into a wrong spot. And it was kind of neat. It was kind of neat, actually. So I know how to do destructible walls. What I would do is I'd make basically a smaller brush than this, right? Something bullet sized, right? And I would just have it do this geometry subtraction every time you hit it. And you could make deletable walls, destructible walls. I don't know. I couldn't get it working quite right. And then there's another problem too, where if you like try to make a channel through here, watch what happens. It just deletes that whole half because the way I've constructed these polygons, you can't have holes. You can't have holes in them. But it is something I'm considering, you know, like if I work on that, maybe in Act 2, you'd get some kind of new laser that gives you the power to destroy a wall. And I'll do some level design around that. Could be fun. Great. Well, like I said, last night I was up super late. I don't know if you can see my eyes, but they are red and burning, and I'm starving. Yeah, good idea with the wall types, right? Yeah, because you need some that you can't destroy. See, that's what I mean. It's the old, oh God, somebody posted an essay, fantastic, about game design, and it was based around building a door, right? And then you say, okay, we'll make doors in the game. But then you have to decide, well, how do they open? Can they lock? Do you need keys? What about enemies that are too big to fit through the door? There's like a million design decisions you have to make just because you added doors. And now if I think about destructible terrain, there's similar, right? There's a million things you need to think about. So who knows if it'll happen, but it is something I'm thinking of. So anyway, I am super tired. My eyes are red. I'm going to call it right now. We've been on stream for an hour. I appreciate everybody who showed up. I really, really do. And thank you, Spherus and Vim, for bringing your peeps. I hope you guys saw something cool. Give me a follow if you want to see more. And please tell all your friends. You know, share the game on Twitter or whatever channel you like posting to, and come wishlist it on Steam. Hopefully I'm getting close to release, maybe another month or two. And I mean, I'm in the final stretch for sure. Come follow me on Twitter, say hi in our Discord, go to gravityace.com, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks, everybody.